Get out of here. Get out of here. So she put her father, she put her father on the mortgage and listed them as husband and wife. That is crazy. Letitia James is finally under investigation. Apparently, she committed mortgage fraud. So she has been officially referred for federal criminal probe over alleged mortgage fraud. So the Federal Housing Finance Agency Director William Pulte sent the referral to Attorney General Pam Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, accusing James of falsifying records to secure home loans. The letter alleges that in 2023, while still serving as a New York state prosecutor, James claimed a property in Virginia was her principal residence in order to obtain a mortgage. Pulte also cited a 2001 purchase by James of a 5-family building in Brooklyn, which she has been consistently misrepresented as having only 4 units in building permits and mortgage filings. Additional documents included in the referral show James bought another property with her father as a co-signer. But on mortgage applications in 1983 and 2000, the two were falsely listed as husband and wife. Holy crap. Get out of here. Get out of here. So she put her father, on the mortgage and listed them as husband and wife. That is crazy. Holy crap. That's nuts. All right, let's move forward. While this was a long time ago, it raises serious concerns about the validity of Ms. James' representations on mortgage applications, Pulte wrote. So James is best known for bringing the civil fraud case against Trump and the Trump Organization, accusing Trump and his adult children of inflating asset values to secure favorable loans and insurance terms. Filed in 2022, the case ended in a majority ruling in early 2024 when a New York judge found Trump liable for fraud and ordered him to pay over $450 million in penalties and interest. James personally oversaw the investigation and trial, which is now under appeal. So she also played a key role in forcing Trump and his children to testify on the oath, despite their repeated efforts to avoid doing so. Earlier in her tenure, James pursued the dissolution of the Trump Foundation, a case that began before she took office, but was driven to completion under her leadership. That case resulted in the foundation's shutdown and a $2 million judgment against Trump. So now Trump is back in office, baby. And since she put those charges out there, Trump actually got his money back. He got all of his money back. He had a couple of big wins. And now we are dealing with this, man. This is absolutely insane. This is absolutely insane. She put her father's name on their mortgages and listed them as husband and wife. Wow. Wow. I don't know what to say, man. I do not know what to say, Miss Letitia James.
And now the Trump Justice Department may be a pain in her you-know-what. The angle has obtained shocking allegations leveled by the Trump administration against New York Attorney General Letitia James. The Federal Housing Finance Agency has sent a criminal referral to the DOJ accusing James of mortgage fraud. In a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi, Director Bill Pulte says James appears to have falsified records in order to meet certain lending requirements and receive favorable loan terms. He cited a property in Virginia that she's allegedly claimed as her principal residence and a property in New York that she claimed as a 4-unit structure instead of the required, instead of a 5, which Pulte says means she was able to get a different type and more favorable loan. Joining me now is Jonathan Turley, Fox News contributor and law professor at GW University. Jonathan, mortgage fraud is rampant in the United States. There's all sorts of fraud that's rampant. There's disability fraud that they've vowed to crack down on in the Trump administration. But this is another thing that they have vowed to crack down on because it costs real money. Your reaction to these allegations?
Well, obviously, the irony is perfectly crushing. This is a person who prosecuted Trump for everything short of ripping a label off a mattress. And among the charges that were brought in New York, in not just the civil but the criminal case, was making false or misleading statements to financial institutions. And one of these sections, Section 1014, of the federal code, is prosecuted. It took me about 60 seconds of a search to find cases that the Department of Justice brought against people who falsely claimed that property was their principal residence in order to get loans. So this is tread areas for the Justice Department. As for James, if we apply the Letitia James standard that she created, there'd be little question here. This seems pretty straightforward. What the administration is saying is this was not her principal residence. In fact, as a New York elected official, she had to say that her principal residence was in New York. This was an out-of-state residence. But also, they claim that in some of these forms, she actually states that her father is her husband in order to file as a married couple.
We have been helping people grow online. It has been absolutely amazing. We have helped many content creators get from zero to monetization in under 30 days. We even have a couple of these superstars who did it in 1 or 2 weeks. If you want to learn how to do YouTube, I don't care your age, I don't care what skills or talents you have, trust me, I can help you do it effortlessly. Just reach out to me with the word coach and we can get it done. One more thing, we have a YouTube course that I just now created. I'm extremely proud of, and a lot of people are getting so much from. Purchase that course and work with us. You can join our private Facebook group and our daily group calls, which is 3 to 5 days per week, and you can learn so much more than you've ever learned before. I can't wait to hear from you. Love you. Peace.
So there's a lot of those questions. And as you know, the Supreme Court just stated earlier in March in a case called Thompson that they want to see knowing false statements under sections like 1014, not just misleading statements. These are misleading statements. Either it's your principal residence or it's not.
Or it's not.
Either you're married to your father or he's your father. So they can this can satisfy the Thompson standard.
Yeah, well, Jonathan, we reached out to the DOJ and they have no comment on this referral. We also reached out to Attorney General James, who did not respond to us either. So again, everyone wants the best interest rate you can get. I understand that. But, you know, she's a lawyer. She knows that when you sign a mortgage application, that mortgage application, if you're borrowing money, if you're not borrowing money, nobody cares whether it's your principal residence, except, you know, where you file your taxes. But she decided to state that that was her principal residence, knowing it was not her principal residence. I didn't even know she had property. I mean, I guess she had property in Virginia and she has rental or investment property in New York. That's fine. But in the New York matter, to get the favorable rate, the building could only have 4 units, but for it looks like its entirety, the entirety of this building, it had 5 units, meaning it was in violation of the actual loan agreement. And again, this is not a novel application of the law, Jonathan, as you stated during the persecution of Donald Trump. She was using all these novel applications of law to go after him. This isn't novel. This is a black and white issue. You either did or you didn't.
Right. And this has been prosecuted in the past. Now, we have not heard her side of this, but these documents themselves are quite damning. It's hard to see how the residences listed were her principal residence. The business about her father is just bizarre. Now, I'll note that one of the things that Letitia James stressed.
I don't know if y'all ever seen Norbit before. How many of you ever seen Norbit? Please let me know in the chat. There's this character in Norbit, Eddie Murphy's wife. Eddie Murphy was Norbit, all right? And he was this, I don't know, skinny cuck of a man. He was I just now learned that word last year. I learned that from the white part of the internet. The C word, I'm not gonna say it again. All right? But apparently Norbit was that type of guy, a pushover. She was beating his ass, doing whatever she wanted to do to him. His wife, her name was Rasputia, right? Rasputia was a big one. All right. Rasputia, she cussed out her husband, which was Eddie Murphy playing Norbert. She cussed out her brothers, who was strong as hell, stayed in the gym. And she looked just like this. I promise you right now, if any of you were to Google Norbert Rasputia, all right, it will look just like Letitia James. I promise you. Just like I'm talking about spitting image. It's like we all have a doppelganger. Her doppelganger is Rasputia from Norbit. If I'm lying, I'm flying, bro. Prove me wrong then. If y'all think I'm lying, then prove me wrong. Huh? Not that that mean anything with regard to this investigation. I'm just saying I had to point that out. And I did not say whether that was good or bad that she looks like Rasputia. I'm just saying that she is the spitting image of Rasputia. Listen, I said nothing. It's not a good or bad thing, right? I mean, we're just pointing this out. It's just an observation, simply an observation, right? But I will say this is unfortunate that she's going through this. But when the rabbit got the gun, that's what I always say. When the rabbit got the gun, man, be careful how you treat people when you're in power. That's what I say. When you're the one that's in power, man, do the right thing. It's that simple. Now you're facing the president of the United States. Are you kidding me? And then you're emboldened enough to stand back up in front of cameras and threaten him again. Like, I'm not going to stop coming from you for you. I'm just trying to be big and bad for your people. Don't nobody care about that stuff no more. That stuff was cool when we were in school. All right. It's not cool when you're a grown ass woman with this many responsibilities. And you know that the most powerful man in the world will get you back. He's going to get his lick back. And we see him getting his lick back. Not him going directly after you, but we already know he's getting his lick back. His lawyer said, if we would get your big black ass arrested. I think that's what his lawyer said. I don't know if he said black, but I do know that he said lawyer. He big. I know he said big. I don't know if he said black, but it's coming back. It is what it is. Accept your fate. It's your turn, baby. It's your turn. Letitia James, it's your turn.